Actually, that's what I should do, is I should put my crafter's delineations up here, because that's with like all the manuals and shit that I use regularly. When one door closes, oh boy. Audition Annex. It's got the Monado. Turn weapon off. Whee! Wait here for Graha and the pickle. Pickle Tia, that's the green one. She's got a hood down, she's got the earring on. Okay. Goodbye, Ijika's brother. Ujika. Right, where are we going? To the stadium, you say? Where is the best bunny boy in the game? Big Erenville fan. Actually good character, Pog.
Erenville!
Here comes the boy. Hello, boy.
Apologies for the wait. I hope I haven't called you away from anything important. I chanced upon some commissioned items at my destination, so I thought I might deliver them.
Where did you go, if I may ask?
Brazil.
The New World. Tural.
You went to Tural? Then the person who you wish to introduce...
Aye, she hails from there. I present to you...
Oh, jeez.
But it seems you've lost her.
Did she wander off?
What fucking tomfoolery is afoot right now?
Sorry. It's just so different here. I can't help but want to explore.
Well, while you were exploring, your candidate came to us. This is her, the adventurer you crossed the seas to meet.
Ooh, you weren't exaggerating. It's plain she's no ordinary woman. I'm Uklamat, claimant to the throne of Tulihuela.
Tulihuela.
It's Tural's governing nation. The capital bears the same name.
I'll get to the point. I want you to come with me to my homeland.
Okay.
Given the magnitude of the request, Perhaps you should explain why you're making it?
Of course, of course.
This is the thrilling relic content.
Soon, an event of great import will be held in Tural.
7.0
The
relic
right of
content as well.
succession. Taking the form of a contest, it will determine who next ascends the throne. As daughter to its present keeper, I will participate. And I have every intention of winning. I was searching for champions to join me when Erenville told me about you. A mighty warrior who knows no fear, who sweeps aside terrible fiends as if they were reeds, who flew to the edge of existence and saved our star.
She asked who Eorzea's greatest hero was, and so I told her. Much more elegantly, I might add.
Now you know why. You'll come to Tural, yes?
Wait, let's all just slow down. Wuklamat, was it? You claim to be of the royal family, but is it not the Mamulja who rule in Tural?
Tulihyolal is a nation of many peoples. Not only the Mamulsha, as some across the seas are quick to assume.
Yeah, I'll
That
share my thoughts
said,
after the
its
cutscene.
present ruler is a
There's some
Mamulsha,
things I want to say
and
just based
one
on
blessed
first
with two heads
appearances.
besides. He's also my father. Not by blood, obviously, but he raised me as his own, and that's what matters.
So that is the way of it. My apologies if I was in doubt.
Gratia's like, lizards can't fuck the tiger people.
Hardly. I know little about your land, and nothing about your parentage. But in my eagerness, I've gotten ahead of myself. I can't expect you to agree on the spot when we've only just met. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Just know, though, that if it's adventure you seek, you could do far worse than come with me. No, this is only a rumor. But apparently, the contest will involve the fabled city of gold and the legendary beast, Valyarmanda.
Okay, so we're gonna resolve everything by level 83, and then there's gonna be the developing plot. I've heard about it before. I have watched a movie, even.
So the tales have reached even these shores. I can't help but feel proud.
Wonder if that's like a Blue
I
Mage
advise you not to put
dialogue.
much store by these rumors. Golden cities are not but a dreamer's fancy.
Says the dreamer who was bent on finding one when he was a child. Just because you failed doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Damn.
Tuliolal and the Golden City.
That's like the most like fucking sort of like shut the fuck up bitch. Like you just like
Regardless
fucking.
of what the contest may entail, it'll be no simple thing. If I'm to triumph, I'll need capable and dependable companions.
Okay.
So let's go on a hunt together. There's no better way to get acquainted.
Ernvo's like, this is not how you win over the white people. I guess what we have the downtime. Yeah, like Works VA is real good. Like it feels so much more loose and free than how stiff some of the dialogue could come across from the usual folk. It's all very like prompt and proper, right? Like not just the fact that you have Urianger, but like everyone's speaking, you know. I know. Definitely captured, I guess, the wild quote unquote aspect. I will say like her Out of the way, Mr. fucking Genesis Rhapsodus. Fucking goddamn, I knew it was that dude. I will say, like, it's a little bit hard to tell, like, if she's using, like, the new graphics update stuff. Like, you can see the textures. I think she is, but I'm not sure about the base models. I will say her eyes look a little... Look this way, please. Look this way, please. Nice lady. Her eyes are a little flat, but I can't tell if that's just because the game doesn't have, like, the new lighting and shit. But yeah, feeling pretty good about this dynamic so far. This is like Sura. No, stand still. Stand still. I want to take a picture so I can go like... Okay. Where are we going? The harbor. Should I do this on Warrior or should I do this on Gunbreaker? It's a little bit hard to pick, to be honest. Because I know that there's a solo instance thing. I feel like going Warrior for Warrior is a good tandem thing. This is where I think too much about like dumb shit, where it's like, how would I want this to be when I do it in the thing? It's because I don't have like a decent like weapon that fits the glamour that I have at the minute. That's my big thing. I know, I went on a bit of a bender when I finished the MSQ and we started like this whole adventurous stuff, whereas like I made, you know, this glam was gonna be like the core concept of how I like ISO looking going into new content, and then like downscale the weapons so that they look a little bit more tame. The idea being that, you know, you bust out like the cooler looking or the you know, specialty weaponry when it's, you know, much more dire content. I like the idea of using 6.1 as like a resetting of the scales in terms of looks and whatnot, after having worn the fucking Bozja coat of fending for the entirety of Endwalker.
So much ice. It rivals even Yogg-Tural.
I just emptied my pockets.
Oh, a white bear! I wonder what it tastes like.
I don't want to eat the fucking
Remember,
bear.
we're here to deal with creatures that have been deemed an unacceptable danger. Do not attack anything else unprovoked.
I know. I know. So this is the isle where ether literally bursts forth.
trying to think what X she uses.
Aye, the Isle of Ham. The geysers lie deep inland, however.
You really are knowledgeable. Kona told me nothing about this place.
Who's Koana?
I doubt your brother managed to come out this way. He's like to have toured facilities like Labyrinthos, however.
Brother.
The great big cavern under the city. It's amazing that they could make a sky down there complete with a sun.
Yeah, they're definitely playing the, you know, the buddy cop kind of situation. Well, not like the buddy cop dynamic of
This
the
brother
good-go-lucky
of yours,
one and then the
he
straight
has been
man.
to Charlian.
He has. Kono's my second older brother, and until recently, he was a student in this city. He went on and on about technological amusements. It made me want to come here too one day. And so I did. I think I understood something of how he felt when I set foot in his beloved studium.
He went to the studium. Your brother must be quite a scholar. But I wonder, like you, he'd be royalty, yes? With such a personage coming to Charlian to receive an education would surely have caused a stir, yet I recall nothing of the sort.
He consulted with the head of the studium beforehand, that his identity might remain secret. Being Mikote, he had no trouble blending in. He's adopted.
Oh,
like
that's who the machinist is. Okay.
One time, though, he almost let it slip to a professor. It was all he could
So that's
do
who
to
the silver-haired
carry
Makoto
barrage
on
of
the
questions.
poster is then.
Having no shortage of questions myself, I can imagine.
Ask whatever you like. I don't mind.
It explains
What I
like the
maintain,
regal attire and all
Hunting
that.
together is the best way to get
Well, not
to
the
know
regal
someone.
attire, but like the fancier machinist looking attire.
The researchers should be up ahead. Let's find them and learn what we can. The researchers should be just ahead. There. The building to the northeast.
Enverville's portrait is very handsome.
So, ordinarily harmless creatures have grown savage.
Don't know what's got them riled up, but I'll take down any that thinks to try me. Right, let's hunt our fill.
God, you could hear that, like, that growl in the voice. It's pretty good. I've seen one of her animations that she does.
Someone's in trouble.
Yeah, taste my axe.
These animals are usually so docile.
Yeah, why are we beating up the sheep? Like, why are they going crazy?
You really are famous.
Can you not read the
And
title?
For good reason,
Huh?
as you'll soon see for
What?
yourself.
Read the title. Look, it's right there.
Quite an interesting contraption you've got here.
So the question is, do you call her Wook or do you call her Lammy?
Is that our petitioner? Let's go and have a chat.
Bro, one of your colleagues was just getting fucking murked. Using
I'll
the
handle
side of the
this.
dungeon. Okay, what's she doing? White of the Luatainer. Oh yeah.
Is that all?
Interesting.
Come on, let's pick up the creature's trail. These claw marks. I've seen their like before.
You know, I wonder if this is something that they're gonna implement as field content.
It's
Like a
starting
little
to
bit
feel
more
like
of a
proper
focused
hunt.
hunt in overworld areas. Or like within instance dungeons of some kind. I don't know. Really did say you can go out here.
Feathers. But did they belong to the predator or the prey?
So, how do you prefer our prey? Roasted or raw?
You presume it's even safe to eat?
Animal leavings. It's the poop mound.
Still fresh. Whatever this beast, it cannot be far.
Do you suppose they're upset we disturbed their home?
Who knows? If they're spoiling for a fight, then they've got one.
There's a certain familiarity to that voice. And I'm not sure where I'm picking it up from. Bird. Hey, it's the Einhander model.
Powerful wings and razor sharp talons. Worthy prey. Ah! What is that thing?
That's pretty good.
It speaks?
High speed cat. It's just holding the fucking T-posing model. That's pretty funny. It's not even like dead or slumped or anything. It's just standing there, just going like.
It's heading towards the falls.
I'll stay with the researchers. The creature, I leave to you.
Come, Woklamat.
Right.
Cool action shot on the lift zipline thing. Yum.
just so we're clear, I wasn't startled by the beast earlier. It caught me by surprise, that's all.
Forgive me, but I failed to see a difference.
I'm getting hungry. Let's be done with this so we can eat.
Caught me by surprise! Caught me by surprise!
Think you're clever, huh? I'll rip off that beak and roast you on a spit! Talk all you like, bird. I'm going to have the last laugh. Oh, I'm going to enjoy sinking my teeth into you.
She's just like, I would fucking eat food.
Ah, shut up already, you blasted bird!
This is like the best fucking like solo fucking fight ever. There's so much personality in it. What the fuck?
Look out!
That's not picking, dude. Or is he gonna like go like dunk 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 dunk? No. Nah, that's not
I've
picking,
never seen
Flurry.
such an enormous colibri.
I don't believe it. Sticky spit. What a name.
Not good. Quickly, gather together.
Oh no, we're stuck.
I've got you.
She unstickied. Oh, yo, the home gang, that's great.
That was too close.
Steady now.
Spread out, everyone!
Whee!
You pay for that.
It's a very easy one. Get out, you. Alright, we're down a double down, I guess, but we'll live. Ooh, left ring, right ring, let's go.
That was hardly a tickle. Try this.
Woo!
Nothing to it.
That was a pretty
Have you
rad
now,
animation.
loudmouth bastard!
Throw everything you have at it.
Ow. It fell on me.
And I had barely limbered up.
It was a terrible foe, but no match for your axe.
She got the post-clear shakies.
Only to be expected. You were pretty impressive yourselves. I was right to invite you on a hunt. But what a curious bird that was. Though we have similar in Tural, they don't grow so big or use such dirty tricks.
Dirty tricks? Dirty tricks?
Aye, dirty and despicable. Otherwise, I could have easily...
Golden Colibri.
Leave this to me.
The goop.
Have at you!
Cryo.
I am terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
She arrived as I was seeing the researchers to safety. It was all I could do to keep up with her after I explained what happened.
So this is what you meant by seeing to preparations?
After hearing of the contest, I thought how wonderful it would be to join you. In coming here, I wanted to demonstrate my skill at arms to Wuklamat. Alas, it seems I missed most of the action.
That was amazing! The piece didn't stand a chance!
I'm glad to have been of service.
May I ask what inspired this change?
You will recall the time you descended to the ethereal sea in search of Heidelin. Recognizing that my skills were inadequate, I chose to provide support from afar, rather than join you. It was the same when you set forth for Ultima Thule. How it pained me to stay behind, again and again. That's what inspired this change. Ever since the final days were averted, I've used every spare moment to hone my craft. As you all have adapted your methods to suit the circumstances, I started by considering how I might best contribute. And after much deliberation, I arrived at my answer.
Sprung.
With the esoteric art passed down by the legendary Archon realm, Pictomancy. As I recall, you have embraced versatility to effectively complement a certain someone's style. What I do is much the same. Like you, I don't want to be left behind.
Why is that line delivery like so heartbreaking? It's just like, please love me, whoa.
I must say,
Please
you
keep me
appear to be
around.
especially keen on being involved in
Holy
the ritual
fuck.
succession. Is there any particular reason?
Yes, there is. This letter from Tuli Yolal. It was addressed to my grandfather Galuf and turned up among the students' archives. The ink was faded, so I couldn't fully make out the sender's name. Galul, someone.
Jaja. Gulul Jaja. That's my father, the Dawn servant. What does the letter say?
While much of it isn't legible, it appears to be a request. to investigate the Golden City.
A request to investigate the Golden City? From the Dawn Servant himself?
Well, well. Seems it may be more than a rumor after all.
Being a member of the royal family, it was my hope that you could confirm the authenticity of this letter.
I can say for a fact that my father didn't write this. Given how culturally diverse Tuliyollal is, it was decided some time ago that a common language was needed. But instead of elevating an existing tongue and its speakers above all others, we looked to those widely spoken overseas and created an altogether new one. The similarities to your common tongue also make it quite easy to communicate in these situations, no? This letter, however, is entirely in Eorzean. If Father had written this, it would have been in Turali. And what's more, it bears a wax seal. We don't bother with them.
So the letter is fraudulent, then?
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. My father's signature is genuine, as far as I can tell, so perhaps he simply dictated it.
I see. Oh, thank you for the confirmation. It seems my grandfather indeed had dealings with Tuliyollal. I can't help but be curious as to what exactly he was doing there. In order to help us decide on a course of action, would you mind if I asked you some questions about your home?
By all means. After all, learning about one another was the purpose of this hunt. We can talk while feasting on this fellow. I, for one, am starving.
We're eating that.
Graha when he can't eat his processed chicken nuggies. What the fuck? You got Estonian. Speak with Dick on. His name's Dick on. So that's the one thing, like, talk about glamour earlier, that you just don't see enough of, is, like, decent, like, oldish looking, slabby gunbreaker weapons. They're all old and very thin. I'm a sucker for the big chunky sword. Wait, is that Lani? That looks like Lani's ult.
Come, come. Let's enjoy the bounty of our first outing together. I'd heard that Charlayan cuisine was terrible, but this is fantastic.
Like my
What is
butter chicken.
this? Oh, it smells spicy.
Oh no, Erenvu. No, he's
Oh,
secretly
come
white. He
now.
can't handle it.
Since when did you become so soft? It's not like we don't have spicy food in Tural, too.
Zero's somewhere in the background going like, give me the spice.
According to Dickon, intensely hot dishes have become popular in Razadhan after a traveller ordered a curry with several times the usual amount of spice.
Yeah, I can't believe Zero has done this.
So he started offering the same in order
What a
to please the
trendsetter.
growing Harnish population here in Sharlayan.
At least they're just, like, acknowledging that, like, she still exists, or, you know, some lasting effect.
It's nothing. I can't handle.
Your boorish manners reflect poorly on the both of us. I wish you would consider your station.
I swear, sometimes it feels like you open your mouth only to criticize.
Would I be correct in assuming you've known each other for a long time?
Damn.
I thick as thieves since we were little.
I beg to differ. She is a long-standing acquaintance. Nothing more.
Fucking, what is this dynamic?
I see. I see.
All this time you were from Tural. Oh, would that I had known sooner. There's so much I'd like to ask.
Fucking just ask the question, Kryle.
You and everyone else. I've kept it quiet so as to avoid the endless interrogations.
Well, if he's going to be a miser, I'll be happy to tell you about our homeland instead.
I got the Subway sub on the table.
Since ancient times, many peoples have called Tural home, and they've been fighting each other for nearly as long.
I could really go for a fucking
The fighting
tomahawk steak
finally
right now, I'm not
stopped
gonna lie.
some 80 years ago, when the reigning Dawn Servant unified the disparate communities and founded a new nation.
And that's how Tuliolal came to be.
Since then, we've enjoyed an era of uninterrupted peace. But my father is getting old, and he wishes to relinquish the throne to a worthy successor. One who can preserve his legacy. Including myself, there are 4 claimants to the throne. But while we all have the right to participate, one among us cannot be allowed to rule.
Uh-oh.
A man who is too ambitious by half. Word of the Garlean Empire's collapse has reached Tural. While most are simply relieved, he sees weakness to exploit and would lead our armies across the seas on a campaign of conquest.
After everything my father has done to give us peace, he would drag us back into war. I can't allow it.
Is it gonna be like her older brother?
No
Like
matter
not
what, I must win this contest.
not Kawana, since he's on the poster.
I understand your reasons. But this being an event that will dictate the course of your nation's future, is it appropriate for outsiders like us to be involved?
Oh, it's more than appropriate. The Dawn Servant himself expressly encourages it. The ruler of Tural must navigate the intricacies of myriad cultures, and there's no better way to prove oneself qualified to do so than to work with foreign allies. That's why I sought you out. Through our hunt, I've confirmed that you're a warrior of considerable skill, but more importantly, one of good character as well.
I said like 2 things.
And so I ask you, will you lend me your strength and help me win the throne of Tulihualal?
No, Dawn Trail cancelled. Brr.
You don't need to decide right this moment. But I will need you if I'm to triumph over the competition. I'll stay here as long as I can while waiting for your answer.
In that case, allow us to prepare a room for you at the Baldessian Annex.
That's very kind of you. Oh, and one more thing. Once we finish eating, would you mind if I took the rest of the meat?
Yeah, she's good. She passes the vibe check. I'm liking this. I'm liking the character. Baba Ganesh, I'll take that. The coming dawn. Sleepy books. Cat. Where are we going? Up top. Excuse me, come through, bucks. Oh, there's a blue mage book. Fog, Blue Mage Mansion, let's go! Graha wrote that book, I'm sure, on the Bean Taku. Spoiler alert. Spoilers. You are gay, we know this. This is a known fact. We're gonna get fucking quizzed about Tyrell. the Poppatoes. The alpacas. LSA, poggers. I feel like they've definitely got the updated textures look going on at the minute. I guess the hunt trains would be firing off quite a bit because of the grind for tomestones at the minute. I still believe that value for money. Yeah, how much do you get from like how much causality do you get from a hunt, right? It's probably better than what I'm thinking. Wait, I got the wrong one. Whoopsie daisy.
Oh, it's just... Despite all that we've learned, I can't help but feel we've yet to hear the whole story. What about you, my friend? Are you inclined to accept or refuse Worklamat's request?
Fucking, this is the gamer fucking thing. I mean, I won't say no to new content.
Ha! I thought you might say that. With an intrepid attitude such as yours, I believe all shall be well. Be it the contest or something else, there will be many trials for you to overcome at your destination. But in the course of seeing new lands and meeting new people, you'll surely find a way forward. That's That's what adventurers do, is it not? Such a journey would be the envy of many a scholar. Distant as it is, Tural remains largely unknown to us, with only meager records to be found in Numenon. The experiences to be had, all the things you might hear, feel, and think. It's enough to stir me to the core. Life is a series of journeys, my friend, and there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it.
I will admit, I do hope Dawn Trail does
Only
not have
then
as many
can
of
we
these
hope to
kinds
be
of
content
moments.
when we arrive at the end of one and step forward.
We've had way,
another.
like, I feel like the writing has just been this way too many, like, big heart-to-hearty moments, right? Like, it just,
But there's an idea.
it's becoming a bit too numerous.
I have a matter to attend to at the Agora. Please, go on inside. I will join you shortly.
I definitely feel like they've, like, just... they feel so numerous. Just over the past, like... past expansion. Hmm.
You have the look of someone who's made up their mind. Go on then. Let's hear it. Excellent. You'll be compensated for your troubles, of course. But I dare say your time in Tural be its own reward.
You're not planning to leave without us, are you?
Okay, so we've got the siblings on our side.
Alphino, Alize! What are you two doing here?
We happened to cross paths at Numenon earlier, you see, and I told them about Wuklamat. And when we fortuitously met again at the Agora just now, they expressed an interest in meeting our visitor.
Ah, you must be the twins who are sneaking after Erenville as toads.
100 things about us you could have told her, and you chose that.
That's pretty
First
good.
impressions last.
True.
"'Tis an honor and a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Your Highness. Alphino Leveilleur at your service, and this is my sister Alize."
Oh no, let's not do that. I really can't stand titles. So, you want to participate in the contest too, is that right?
Indeed we do. We've been assisting with the rebuilding effort in Garlemald. Yet while progress is being made, the question remains of how the nation might reconcile with its neighbors. We believe there is much we might learn from Tuliolal, a nation founded on unity. And in return for this honor, we would spare no effort in supporting your claim.
The more the merrier, I say. And I'd be keen to learn about Eorzea and Garlemald from you as well.
Having recruited so many committed and capable allies, I presume you have no need for my continued assistance?
Nonsense! Like I told you before, you're indispensable. They're strong, aye, but strangers to our land. They need someone to guide them, to point out the dangers, and spare them grisly deaths. I can't think of anyone better suited to that task than you. What's more, despite your assertions, I know you haven't given up on the City of Gold.
As I recall, Kryl, you were the first to state your desire to visit Tural.
Perhaps I was. Still, I can't help but worry about being away just when our order is beginning to find its feet again.
You have nothing to worry about. I haven't forgotten how you held the fort while I set off to explore Alzadal's legacy. It's only fair that I return the favor. Pray, leave the students to Ojika and me.
But, Raha...
Well,
You want to retrace your grandfather's steps, don't you? This is a rare opportunity, and I insist
what's going
that
on with the
you
Raha
seize it.
nickname? The thing's sticking out. We got like a fucking 45-degree angle
Raha.
dent going on in there.
Thank you.
Well, looks like it's settled. I'm counting on you all to help me win the throne.
I suppose now is a good time to show you what I spent a small fortune on at the Agora. There.
Big world map.
This, my friends, is the latest map of the world, created to celebrate our friendship with the Loporrits. Cast your eyes west of Sharlayan, for there it lies. The site of your next great adventure, Tural.
Map. Thanks, Oz, for the raid. How we going? How we doing? It's that, that, and that. There you go. Did you end up doing the MSQ too? I feel like this is definitely, in terms of like the lead up patches compared to Endwalkers, this is a lot. Oh, sorry, the lead up at the end of Shadowbringers. I feel like this one was a lot better. I feel like Endwalkers one was just like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, look at the moon. we that is a typo. Oh no. It's a good thing I fucking took chat off the fucking screen. Yo, crowd with the hair down, that's good. There are gonna be many Agraha stands that take this artwork. Ooh, that is it. But yes, I agree. Wooklamart's pretty good. I very much like the dynamic and like the fresh air she kind of brings into the cast. Her and Erenville. It's definitely something that's need a bit of shaking up. There's just new faces to the roster. Marcus off as opposed to Marcus on. I haven't done Tataru's Grand Endeavor. I need to sit through that. That's the one thing I haven't done, is that quest line. Did you get anything for finishing that? It's long but nice. Yeah, I'm aware it's pretty long. Okay. Boast. Best character in entire game, boast. You get like the you get the kimono attire, right? You get like a few rewards for each patch worth of it. Cringe character, I'm glad he's dead, thank God, we're finally free. Even though they did that like bit that kind of made it like a bit better, but like still, I really don't want to see Xenos anymore. Be gone, demon. I want new stuff. We watch the credits in this house because we respect developers and the effort they put in. Like Xenos ulti. I mean, Xenos ulti I will make an exception for because it is a fight and content, but him and having a presence within the narrative as like a force, the closest thing I will accept is that Durante is a shard of Xenos because of how he looks and the semblance, like, you know, he has to traveling with Golbez. It's like a, you know, it's like a parallel if they were buddies. Is a sign on Dawn Trail? I'd fucking hate it, I swear to God. Anyway, I'm BRB, I'm just gonna grab a drink. Alright, I'm back. Well, I guess now that Endwalker's done, like, in full, in terms of narrative stuff, just trying to think how I feel about it, because it feels like two very different games at times, and that's specifically because the narrative wraps up right at the tail end, right, and then you go into this build-up. I feel with, like, I've just put this into, like, vanilla Endwalker and patch Endwalker. I feel that vanilla Endwalker was good, but that extra 30% that they talked about, I honestly feel like they could have cut it down. Because you spend so long in some of those regions, and it goes on and on and on. I feel like Garlemald needed to be cut down, and more of that focus could have been put in the post-Endwalker narrative. Or at least focused on a bit more there. And I feel like... I'm trying to think how I feel about the Raz at Han stuff. God, Barbarusha, yeah, Pog. The red stuff was fine for the most part. But there was like a big disconnect between... I don't know. I wouldn't say big disconnect, but... You were so detached from Xenos and... Fandaniel for large swaths that it's like, okay, what are they up to? Like, why is this not escalating faster than it needs to, right? It was all coming to a head at this point. You know, we're off worrying about some Garleans that are just running off into the snow because they just hate us, right? Like, I feel like the time to address that is in the post-Endwalker narrative when you're dealing with stuff with Zero, right? Like, the jeweler stuff was fine. He's a good character. I like how he turned around. But it's just, like, the length that it took to get there was a bit much. I feel like the Elpis stuff was fine. I feel all of the stuff relating to, like, the players and the final days and stuff were all fine. Just the build-up to, like, Garlemald specifically was where I feel it just took a toll for being too long. Oh, and that one section where you have to listen to the fucking music on repeat in Charlene constantly. That one was a bit long, just because of the music loop, but... Otherwise, like, I thought it was pretty good for the most part. Or, yeah, it was a very enjoyable experience. It definitely ranks lower than Shadowbringers for me, because Shadowbringers I feel like had way better pacing. It definitely also helped that Shadowbringers had, like, a whole bunch of, like, non-baggage with it. Whereas Endwalker was dealing with tying up all these loose ends, right? And so that's why I feel they probably felt like they had to, you know, close out all the Garlean stuff, right? Because they want to set the stage, but I feel like it definitely could have played, some of that stuff could have been better put in thing. As for the 6.1 stuff and the Void, I like the setup that they're doing for all this interworld travel stuff, like Y'shtola going back to the first and restoring the 13th. I don't know, it was definitely a very by the numbers, like Final Fantasy kind of story, in terms of you start off adventuring, you discover something afoot, you go digging deeper, and then you're fighting the big bad and his 4 big bad guys, right? Who is 4 minions. And I feel like they lent on that specifically just to tide them over. I guess it's a bit weird, and I guess it makes, from a perspective, like the Trials series being built into the MSQ. Because we haven't had that since A Realm Reborn, right? Like, the stuff there was all about dealing with the primals, right? So I guess for me, like, on a subconscious level, it makes that connection back to having to do, like, the repeated, like, you know, primal fights and how long that felt, right? The stuff it did for the 13th and the tail end of it, though, was really good. You know, I as much as, like, Ashdire is a thing, I don't know, the personal stakes weren't there. I'm definitely more interested in Zero as a character, and stuff around, like, the Contra Memoria and whatnot, but I feel like that's something that we never really get into, and I feel they didn't really, like, they don't really get into detail on, but when they talk about it, or, you know, they hint to all these events that have happened elsewhere. So I'm thinking, like, comparing Shadowbringers Ardbert's story, right? Comparing that to, like, Zero's and whatnot, and I feel like the job quest and giving you that experience with, like, Ardbert's gang going through their quest, and then culminating with, like, the Sylvia stuff. I feel like that stuff needed to be touched on a little bit more, you know, show us this world a little bit more, rather than it just be us interacting with the bad guys. But I guess we don't really have an avenue to interact with more so than those, so it's a little hard, and especially when you're, you know, they're trying to push towards Dawntrail, right? Like, it's, you can only go so far into it, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Void in future, and it's going to be very funny watching people go, because, like, that's the one thing, is, like, people were like, man, fucking, the patch story is so fucking boring, blah, 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 it just feels shit, blah, 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 but, like, when we get to the expansion in which we're dealing with the Void, and stuff, they're gonna be like, oh, it was masterful foreshadowing, masterful Gambit Yoshi P, like, it's the exact same shit that happened in Heavenswood, with the Dragon Song War. Like, people go back now and they're like, oh wow, Dragon Song War was so peak, like, amazing, but at the time I remember like, specifically people being like, what the fuck is this is boring, where's other stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. And I think it's just due to the nature of, like, consuming the media over the period of time, right? It's getting that fully unfiltered. Sorry, I'm cleaning up my keyboard while I talk because I have terrible, crippling inability to just sit down and talk. But yeah, it's definitely that exposure to a narrative over time as opposed to a narrative over, like, along of a shorter amount of time that caused people to be, like, I guess, pissy about it, you know? Because you get so far, you know, you go, what, you know, fucking 4 months, right? And then the update is not much has changed in the status quo. Like, a thing has slightly happened. It's very interesting to think that, I guess, well, technically you're, like, right, because that's the other thing that's really interesting about the Void and what they set up, is that Goldbears is just heavily implied to, like, the original Goldbears is heavily implied to be the Warrior of Light's shard on the Void. So it's going to be very interesting, because that crystal still exists, right? That's, like, how you go into the flashback. And what's also funny is that technically we fought ourselves in the fight with Zeromus, because Zeromus was that crystal, right? Zeromus was that crystal Ashdire and the excess Aether left over in Zodiac's, piece disappearing into the Aether once he was defeated. So it'll be interesting to see what Golbear's is. I know, and I guess, Durante's still around, right? So maybe we get a bit more fleshed out. So there's definitely, you can see, an angle between Durante and Golbear's in the Void being a what-if scenario of Xenos and the Warrior of Light being traveling compatriots. Because of how, fervishly reverent Durante pitches Golbear's, right? And that's, it's a bit more, I guess, honest version of what, or honest and friendly, I guess, version of what Durante, what Xenos does to the Warrior of Light. It's that same, this person presents a challenge or, a growth opportunity in me. Just put through a different lens, I guess. I don't know how much I'm talking up my ass. I feel like when I talk like this, I feel somewhat confident, but I also feel like someone could easily come in and go nah, you're fucking stupid, lol. Otherwise, the setup seems interesting for Dawn Trail. The artwork is interesting. Based on what I'm seeing, if we bring up the poster now, we have some more context. So if I go this, right? So if I pull up this, we have some more context to a lot of characters, right? So obviously we got Wook Lamar, Makote being Koana, and I'm assuming that this is the other party that the other Scions will be involved with. Specifically, possibly, it might be someone else, but in terms of known characters, right, kind of crossed off, and they mentioned a man, right, so it's not gonna be fucking white girl save me, white girl up here. So I wonder what they're going to do with a two-head dynamic. We'll go from there, but yeah, all in all, oh yeah, we got this is cool. I didn't realize there was this neat image of I'd like to take this photo. There you go. I don't know. I'm seeing some stuff on Twitter just now, like, about people being upsetty about the VO for fucking Wookiee, but, like, being, like, trans or whatever. I don't know, man. People need to get their head out of their asses with that shit in this fucking current year. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. It really fucking does not. It's just baffling that people are so caught up in this, like, weird fucking culture war shit where it's like, it's just fucking, just stop it. Anyway, I tend not to dwell into that stuff because my stance is pretty clear. Fucking trans lives matter, you know, all that shit. Sorry, I feel like I have to say that because I feel like if you don't, people will like try pick it up and take it the other way. But like at the end of the day, that doesn't fucking matter for me because I'm just a literal fucking streamer that does this for fun. But yeah. Have we passed the online people yet? Sorry, I haven't been looking at the credits because I've just been scrolling, but... yeah. I'm just trying to think where I feel about, like, at the moment I am very excited for Dawn Trail, like, from a narrative perspective. I mean, like, I don't feel I ever get, like, a giga super turbo hype until, you know, it's the day of and you're going through it. I feel I've come to settle my expectations quite regularly. Because if you don't in today's current age, it's very easy to get burnt when it comes to all of that cringe shit, right? But yeah, it's it's certainly been an expansion. Outside of a narrative front, my only hopes for me, I guess, going into Dawn Trail is that I'm able to find a roster to do content with, you know. And, you know, I'm always excited for whatever new friendships may form in regards to that. I will admit, like, come the end of every expansion, it always feels a little barren in terms of, you know, who you've got and what you're doing. If you're not already in a friend circle, you're a little bit out on your own. So, I guess I've been doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I feel like hopefully with what Dawn Trail's going to do with large-scale content is, like, gonna revitalize, like, the whole, you know, like, group content, because that's the one thing, is that, yeah, the biggest criticism of Endwalker being, like, you know, the single playerification of the game. It was necessary support to come to the game to do it. However, the focus was leaned way too hard on it for a large swath of content, and as a result it just meant that the game felt way less involved with people that you know and all that, right? Well, I mean, you got the DSR clear, right? Like, if it's Savage, you know, people should be able to take that as you know, a sign that you've been able to put in the hard hours, right? I feel like when you're looking for a group, yeah, FF logs, like numbies are never gonna be, you know, as much as having that looks nice, that's not the be all and end all of being a raider. A lot of it's like what you know, your experience and time in the game, you know? Because you could have a million billion log, you know, you could have like a fucking gajillion fucking 99s, but how many of them were, you know, you? I'm not looking forward to doing tea at 5 a.m. Oh boy. Why are you doing tea at 5 a.m.? Is this like fucking EST gaming group? Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, you know, you're doing like, well, aren't they like fucking, they're Australian based? Why you guys doing it? Why are you guys doing it at 5 a.m.? Oh, you mean, oh, last time you did. I see. Yeah. That's good. With Proto and Silver, yeah. Yeah, my big thing is just finding a PST friendly group that's not gonna fucking blow my brains out in terms of it, because at the moment it's just every group that's recruiting wants to start like earlier and not do it at shit times. So it's like, oh boy, how do I do that? But we'll see. Why are they like... separate. Yeah, pretty much. That's my big thing, right? I do have like a million hours of leave, so my thing's either I get a group that doesn't do like a ridiculous amount of prep. I said like that's the one thing is like I've been in talks with like a couple of groups at this point, and like the big thing has been just the prep time and what they want to do. It's like one group wants to go hard on Savage, but Ultimate they scale back a bit. And so, like, logistically, I would be able to book in, like, time off from work and be like... you know, book in time to make the prep sessions, right? But ideally, like, I would like to be able to use that time more effectively than just prep sessions. Because at the same time, I don't believe... I'm personally of the belief you don't have to do a whole lot of prep to be successful in Savage. Ultimate, yeah, more so, especially if you're going hard. No, but that's one. The other one hasn't really talked much about schedule, but apparently that's like a worldwide group of like British people, so who knows, you know, how that would work out. But yeah, still don't know what I'm doing for DT. It's a first Savage tier, but I'm talking about like the longevity part of it, right? Like, I guess the thing is like, it's not to worry, right? At worst, right? The way I see it, right? At worst, you're either in PF day one in the trenches, or you're finding a group, you know, that is facilitating the temporary in the now, and by that I mean a Savage week 1 group that you get Savage week 1 with. Right, like I would not join a group that I did not feel would comfortably beat it or did not have the time allocated to do it, regardless of the time frame. Right, like I have my own personal goals of, you know, at least a day. Like in terms of rating goals for like next expansion, my thing is to hit a day 3 on Savage. Because I've always been short of that ever since Eden's Gate, we day 4'd Titan. I think the morning of day 4. And it's definitely doable in a first tier, so I would like to try get 2 back-to-back tiers where it's day 3. And then for Ultimate, I want to do anything faster than week 5, week 6. Because that's like the next step for me. It's a little bit slower, and it does take a little bit to get there, right? But I mean, when it comes to it, I would say just be, you know, when it comes to like looking for your goals, you need to be ready to, like, if you want to improve and improve in the sense of finding something that's appropriate for your time zone, you need to be ready to make the sacrifice to move where you need to. And I'm much the same, right? Like, part of me is also like, what happens if I have to go to Materia, right? Like, what does that mean for me? But, you know, that's a bridge you cross when you get there. Trying right. I mean, okay, so the reason everyone's moving to Genova at the minute because, like, what, they raid a bunch together and they just want an FC that has buffs, right? Yeah, I know Frey made an FC. I'm aware. Like, I was asking about it the other night. I'm like, oh, what's the go with like the Genova stuff? Because they were talking about it. It's just like, oh, they're making an FC. For the most part, it seems to be, like, specifically from what I understand, like, Karif is joining it because he wants because everyone raids on Aether at the minute. They want access to their retainers and they want access to the FC buffs. That's the main reason why it exists. It's facilitating like a basic need. How long that will last, we'll see. Like, when it comes to raiding, like, and how populous Aether is, and the same goes for Primal. Like, I've considered, like, what happens, you know, like, if I need to move to Dynamis, right? Like, you know, if I get a raid group that wants to go hard and they're like, we're logging in on Dynamis, you know? And you got to think about all that, right? Like, we're at a point where it doesn't matter where you are in the game. Randomly lock DC travel. I don't think they will, because of the systems that they've implemented into things, into the game. Because the thing is that if it's not like locked, like it is, you have to log in on your home world before you can server transfer, right? So it's to discourage people from doing that, and I don't think they will, because a lot of people are aware of how long the Endwalker queues were, right? I don't think we're going to have as much of a pop-off for population like we did in Endwalker. Endwalker was like the middle of the perfect storm for the game. I feel like the player populace is going to be a fair bit smaller in terms of active users logging in on day one, right? It was climax of the narrative, the post honeymoon, like post quote unquote honeymoon phase, or catching up to current expansion WoW players, and new players that had joined from the get-go, and just the game's interest level being at an all-time high. Why the fucking Fall Guys in the goddamn fucking credits? God damn it. Fucking. But yeah, it's, the game is gonna settle a bit, I feel. We definitely but fucking seeing all these names in the credits. Fucking. Fucking konnichiwa, minasan, feel this. But yeah. Dawn Terror is definitely going to have a lot, like, there's going, I think what it'll be is the peak that we were at for Endwalker will dip a bit, but the overall, like, level of population will bump back up. But that said, MMOs want to have, and MMOs and any kind of service game that has a large, population or a large popularity tends to be quite popular on the first few days. So, early access into that first week, I expect it. The level that it carried on through the first couple of weeks, I don't see it being that as bad as what it was, especially with the changes that they've done to infrastructure, Dynamis being implemented, people shuffling around a bit. So these are some long fucking credits, like, holy shit. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone's also on. Is this small sir? No, this is not sir. Frosty coffee. Back. Why is there more stuff? What the fuck? I feel like this should have been before the credits.
When does the next ship set sail?
May I ask your destination?
The north and east, I've already seen.
So Stinian's just fucking around. He's not on any
Suppose I'll
side.
head west this time.
West, you say?
The boat will be about in 6 months, sir. Ritsu, your mare's not working. Smash. Yeah, I feel like this should have been before the credits. But all of these should have been before the credits.
I see you've made up your mind. I had a feeling you'd be keen.
But to think that our comrades too are thither bound. Fate doth work in mysterious ways.
Indeed. It will be a grueling task, having to contend with them.
If the prospect doth trouble thee, 'tis not too late to decline the petition. Though thine expression would suggest thou art far from perturbed.
Perturb this.
Oh, how could I possibly be, knowing what's to come?
Then let us delay no further and secure passage on a vessel.
I wonder if Thancred, Y'shtola...
Aye. This will be a mission to remember.
Thancred, Y'shtola, and Urianger are on the side of Koana.
Come, my friend. We make for Taral.
Because I feel like none of us are going to be, like, none of the Scions will objectively be on the bad guys' side. Or the one that's, you know, like, fighting for conquest.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty? Or the treasure islands beyond the frozen waters of blind frost?
Why the
in
fuck are we still
Ocelot's
getting this
North?
man talking about? Stop it. Stop it. He died. Let him die. Let him die in peace. Please, for the love of God. No more Emmett Self
The
fucking
fabled
dead horse
golden
beating.
cities of the new world.
Well, he did the things that we did this extension. It's coming back. God damn it, Val. I'm gonna summit 1G my monitor and hope that impact hits you if you keep saying that. God, that's like people going like, man, Heidelin's the little girl in the fucking Heaven's Turn quest. Okay.